The UAP community has just had a really interesting update from Marco Rubio when he was asked about UFOs and his statements in the age of disclosure. And I've got to say, I was incredibly surprised by his response, but this isn't the only thing that Marco Rubio has gone on to talk about, and we're going to be talking about that today. So, obviously, Marco Rubio was part of the Age of Disclosure, the new documentary that came out about UFOs, UAPs, aliens, and all the rest of it, right? And arguably bought the credibility in a lot of people's opinions. Like, Marco Rubio was, like, everyone did a great job, but Marco Rubio was, like, the key pillar in the middle, holding it all together. So he was a very prominent figure and very important figure within the Age of Disclosure documentary, right? Now, he is the current US Secretary of State and former senator, and has been one of the most prominent political figures advocating for the greater transparency on UAPs. His interest dates back to the time in the Senate, when he helped establish a permanent UAP task force in 2021 and repeatedly called for declassifying government reports on unexplained aerial sightings over restricted US airspace. For instance, in early 2023, Rubio highlighted a Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, otherwise known as ARROW, receiving 171 unexplained UAP reports the previous year, many involving, quote, unusual flight characteristics, and urged the Biden administration to release more details on recent shootdowns from unidentified objects. He emphasized that such incidents had been occurring for years without adequate public acknowledgement. Now, Rubio has been most recent and detailed comments come from November 2025 in his documentary of the Age of Disclosure, which was directed by Dan Ferrer. Which details interviews with 34 high-ranking current and former US government, military, and intelligence officials, including Rubio himself, who claimed direct knowledge of non-human intelligence and an alleged 80-year government cover-up of reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology. In the film, Rubio described repeated UAP incursions over sensitive sites, stating, quote, "We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours. These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers that haven't been seen. There's a whole fleet of them. I have seen them with my own eyes, non-human craft and non-human beings." He expressed concern about the phenomenon that could represent a technological leap by adversaries like China or Russia, but also stressed that the need to move beyond the stigma. Quote, "There's a stigma associated with it. Nobody wants to be known as the UFO guy." Rubio advocates for serious investigation, noting that incoming administration are often left out of the loop on classified UAP details due to, quote, need-to-know basis, right? Now, with regards to the Age of Disclosure, a phrase central to the film's title and theme, Rubio positions it as an emerging era of transparency after decades of secrecy. He argues that leaders from both parties view the film as a quote-unquote stepping stone towards declassification and calls it the end of the cover-up. Quote, "I think it is only a matter of time before a sitting US president steps up to the podium to tell the world what they know, that we are not alone, the only intelligent life in the universe, and that the United States government intends to lead a new chapter by ending the era of secrecy and beginning the era of transparency." The documentary, now streaming on Amazon Prime and in theaters, has sparked bipartisan discussions on Capitol Hill, with Rubio's participation credited for encouraging other officials to speak out. Critics, including some experts, remain skeptical on the film's claims, of course, viewing them as unproven despite high-profile sources. Rubio has not posted directly about the documentary on Twitter as of December 3rd, 2025, but his earlier advocacy aligns with the push for openness. That's kind of a bit of a brief kind of backstory on Marco Rubio's place and why he's such a prominent figure within this. Now, he's come out on Fox News since the documentary has dropped, right, to kind of elaborate on his claims, because obviously he makes some pretty big claims, right? Like with regards to, seeing NHI craft and NHI beings. Here's a little bit of clarity on what he meant by this, if it wants to load. The government's like, "Oh, hell no. You're not showing that. Don't even think about it. You think you're funny? You think this is cool? Well, it's not. It's not cool at all. Right, well, that's absolutely not working. So I'll catch you up on that in a minute. But there has also been another post that has been made, which is alien disclosure incoming. A top advisor to incoming Secretary of State Marco Rubio just dropped this bombshell. We're headed toward massive disclosure on UFOs. The US has recovered alien tech and it is handed to private contractors, Rubio leading the charge, but he is not alone. So this comes from here. So Marco Rubio is the most powerful Secretary of State since Kissinger. As such, it is significant that he believes that the US has recovered alien tech and given it to the private military contractors. A senior Rubio advisor says we are headed towards massive disclosure. And that's come from this article right here, which obviously is quite the big deal. You know, because again, it's kind of piling on and mounting the pressure on this topic, really. But Barack Obama, former president of the United States, has also kind of chimed in on this at the current time. And he's made some comments with regards to, well, it was more tongue-in-cheek kind of comments, but, there was an underlying tone of something there. At least that's what a lot of people are kind of saying. But Twitter's not playing the game today, so I guess we will have to wait and see on that one. But, okay, call me a conspiracy nut, right? But I've literally just spent the last 20 minutes trying to find the clips that I'm referring to, right, with Marco Rubio. Bear in mind, this comes from Fox News, so it's not exactly like, under the radar kind of backhand, back alley kind of clips that I'm looking for here, right? I started over on Twitter, and Twitter's just not playing the game, right? The video just won't load whatsoever. So I thought, do you know what? I'm sure I'll be able to find something similar over on Reddit. So I went over to Reddit, and the video still isn't working. And then I thought, all right, well, what I'll do is I'll go like a bit overboard, and I'll download the video from Twitter, right, directly from it, and then I'll just replay it from there. Well, I tried that. I pulled up the video, the downloaded video, by the way. It just won't work. And then I was like, right, well, what I'll do then is instead of looking for the clipped version, what I'll do is I'll go over to the full thing and I'll find the statement within the YouTube video because, I got it somehow working here with no audio, mind. Like, I can't get the audio to work. And then if I go over here and I tap the audio button, let me just show you quick. If I go over here and tap this little audio button, the whole thing just kind of freaks out on me. And then it just suddenly stops working. And then I was like, right, okay, so I'll just go over to the YouTube channel like I did before and I'll find it that way. Nope. It's now this one's broken. Like, I don't know if this is just a bugged... call me a conspiracy nut, right? Look, but it just won't work anywhere. I can't even download the clip, have it saved, and then have it work on my personal computer. Like, call me a conspiracy nut. I don't know. Basically, go over to Fox News YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you where to find the clip. It starts about 5 seconds in. That's when the first question is asked. And then from the 26-second mark, that's when Marco Rubio, for about 2.5 minutes, goes on to talk about his response. I wish I could show it to you here, but literally, I have tried every angle. Nothing is working at all. Look, you can even see, I've gone to this website. This is the link to the clip from Twitter. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. I do apologize, guys. So you're going to have to go and source this one on your own, I'm afraid. Let me know what you guys think about this once you've watched it, I suppose, down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.